Blackpink's Rosé to sign with the Black Label. And let's talk about this spicy move in Twice's Nayeon's ABCD. But have you ever tried to boycott members of a group because they didn't live in a dorm? All that today and more on this episode of Totally Legit K-pop News with me, Angelina. So if you're interested, please keep on watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with the friends you don't have. Also, I uploaded a new vlog on my second channel. Please go check it out. I'm in my vlogger era. It's becoming summertime, pool season. Also, I might have endometriosis. That's fun. But if you want to keep up with all of that, go check it out. Also, please, as always, check out my link tree for important resources, information, all of that jazz. Also, I need your help because I want to start another channel where I just post the individual news stories rather than one long video. What do you think of that idea, first of all, and what should I name that channel? But without further ado, let's get into today's news. It has really been a while since we discussed Blackpink contract news. We went through a whole roller coaster back in September with so many rumors, and I think some of them did end up being true. We're actually going to take a look at that later, but previously it was reported that Rosé would be the only member of Blackpink to stay at YG Entertainment. That was the rumor. That was what was reportedly rumored here. With the other members rumored to start their own agencies, which they did. But now it's been reported by Newsen that she'll be joining Teddy's label, the Black Label, which is also home to Somi. I am not gonna forget to screen record this time. Good job. So what is the Black Label? For some people who don't know, the Black Label originally started out as an independent sub-label under YG Entertainment, but it seems that they became an associate company of YG Entertainment. So YG Entertainment owns probably like 21% of the label, with Teddy owning 43% of the label. So what's the difference really? I mean, I'm pretty sure I've heard Somi in the past call Blackpink her label mates. I personally think they're closely related. A lot of commenters might think otherwise, but it's related to YG at the very least, okay? I mean, like, okay, all that to say that if the rumor was that she'd be the only one staying at YG Entertainment, this new report wouldn't be too far off from that, right? Because the Black Label is still closely tied to YG Entertainment. Do you know what I mean? Now, in response to this report, the Black Label did actually release a statement saying, "We are currently discussing signing an exclusive contract with Rosé." More about Teddy. Teddy produced many of Blackpink's hit songs since the girl group's debut single, Square One. The Black Label is currently home to many artists, including Big Bang's Taeyang, Chun So-mi, and Zion T. And they also have actors, including Park Bo-gum and Lee Chung-won. Teddy also produced for 21 as well. I frankly don't appreciate this 21 erasure, but let's move on. Here's what some K-netizens think of this potential news. Because again, this is just reported, right? It could go any which way, but this is what's been reported, not confirmed. Please give us lots of songs. I have to comment right away because if we look at Somi's discography, I mean, didn't she just celebrate 5 years, like her 5-year anniversary, and she's had 5 title tracks? Well, actually, that's really not too bad. I mean, in YG language, that's stellar, actually. So she went with the Black Label. I hope that she releases a lot of songs. I think that's the most realistic decision aside from starting her own company. Please release an album. Please release an album quickly. The Black Label, do your work. Looking forward to Rosé's solo album. I'm not asking for anything else. I just wish for a full album with lots of songs. I mean, depending on who you're asking, that could be asking a lot. Rosé has been recording a lot and has given us so much fangirl material. I'll be looking forward to her album. Please give us an album now. Hey, I thought she'd make a foreign company. Rosé, I support you. So it would be interesting to see what she does under the Black Label. Obviously, it is technically different from YG Entertainment, right? She has stuff in the works. That's a given. It's just when will we see it and how often will we be seeing that? Now, I also asked you guys on my community tab what you thought of her potentially signing with the Black Label. So let's read what some of you guys think of this. I feel like she will get the same treatment as Somi, and it's sad. I already knew this was going to happen. When they were still discussing contracts, it was revealed rumor that Rosé would be staying at YG, transferring to the Black Label, and that Lisa and Jennie would be leaving YG. I believed the rumor and it bore fruit. Though some fans might be disappointed, Rosé is very smart for negotiating in order to stay with the producer who's worked with her for a decade. Teddy knows her vocal tone and music style the best. She She was always staying late in the studio to work on her own songs, so I'm happy it's all coming true for her. Out of all the girls' solo songs, Rosé was the only one, in my opinion, that had quality, not to mention she wrote both songs herself. I'm the most excited for her solo music. She would shine as a soloist more than she ever did in the group. She really went basement dungeon. Stop. I hope that doesn't mean a YG type release schedule. Also, I was wondering when we will hear about what she does with both Lisa and Jennie teasing new music already. And Jisoo already back to filming. It was quiet around her. I feel like she would shine more as a soloist, but the label probably will give her the same treatment as Somi. All the other three have already become CEOs. Maybe she wants to return to the original self with the help of Teddy. Probably we're getting the old vibe BP songs. Who knows? Just my assumption, no hate. The vibe I'm getting from her, and I don't mean this in any way to like reflect on other members, and I have to say that because anytime you say something, it's like, oh well, you said that because you mean actually that about other members. Listen, how long was that like that? Like, the vibe that I'm getting from her is that like she's in it for the art, you know? She just wants to make the music. She's in it for the art. She doesn't need to bother with like making a separate company. Like, she likes the people that she works with. She wants to like create the art, you know what I mean? But who knows, maybe this is rumored and then like bam, she comes out like announcing her own company as well. It's not bad. I see a great future ahead of her no matter what she chooses to do. I'm sure she's made the best decision for herself. I can't claim to know her situation better than her, but I am personally apprehensive about the news. I don't have a lot of faith in Teddy. So I think a lot of these comments are interesting because so far we haven't technically heard anything from the other members either. Like, a lot of people are like, she should establish her own label, like that would be better, like Jennie and Jisoo and Lisa did. But they also haven't released any music so far. And once they release music, who's to tell how often they would release music from that point on, right? Like, we can all assume that we would get like a comeback a month, but that's probably not realistic, even though they're in charge of everything themselves. Like, I still personally, this is my prediction, I still think that like, let's say Jennie releases a song tomorrow, like I wonder if she would take like another year to release something, which is still better than when she was under YG, but it's still a long time in the K-pop world to release something, isn't it? Like, I think a lot of people are thinking that it's going, like, we're going to get so much music out of them, but I still think it's they're going to take their time with it. That's my personal thought. But on that note, let's take a trip down memory lane because I just remember how chaotic it was when there was discussion surrounding their contracts. Like, every single day almost, it felt like there was a rumor and then YG dispelling that rumor, but not really dispelling the rumor, just being like, we're just discussing things. Actually, well, you weren't discussing much, were you? Because they all left. Well, almost all of them left. So let's look at Soompi. I just looked up BLACKPINK contract. And let's go back to September of 2023. That was such a long time ago, wasn't it? YG briefly responds to reports regarding BLACKPINK Lisa's exclusive contract. Basically, they're still discussing it. YG Entertainment shares BLACKPINK Lisa is still in talks for contract renewal. YG Entertainment briefly responds to reports regarding BLACKPINK members' contract renewal, basically saying that they're still talking about it. Are you counting? I hope you're counting how many this is. Blackpink's Jisoo and Jennie purported to each launch individual agencies, and YG briefly comments. He basically said, "Why am I talking about YG like it's the man himself? Like, he's personally addressing everything himself." My dogs are fighting. We're still in discussion. YG Entertainment briefly comments again about BLACKPINK's contract renewal status, which was, and you guessed it, they're still discussing everything. And then finally, all 4 BLACKPINK members renew contracts for group activities with YG Entertainment. But then it's clarified that individually they were going to do their own things. Now, this is Soompi, right? Because Soompi only reports on like official statements. Can you imagine all the other sites, how many articles there were about every single rumor and everything like that? But this is just the amount of times that YG said something about anything, and I feel like it's still quite a lot. And then of course Jennie launched her own agency, Lisa launched her own agency, and then Jisoo launched her own agency, which all 3 of them did it around a similar time period, December, February, and now we're in June and we're finally hearing about Rosé. To her credit though, she has been teasing a lot in her personal content, so I'm curious to see what she will end up doing. As always, let me know what you think in the comments about this. Is she gonna join the Black label? Is she going going to like magically come out with her own company? Let me know your thoughts and predictions. Let's talk about ABCD. Most notably, the choreography move that has shocked the world. So of course, Twice's Nayeon had her first solo comeback. Yes. Second solo. That doesn't make sense. First solo comeback with ABCD. And here's the original choreography that is like tearing the K-pop world apart. Actually not tearing the K-pop world apart, because usually with things like this, usually with like the spicy things like this, you'll have like people on one side being like, this is so vulgar, ew, what the hell? And then other people being like, this is like pure art, what are you talking about? So I haven't seen people like really fighting about this, which is quite surprising, but I still wanted to discuss it because she did have to change this choreography regardless. So here's the original part. So of course she's being held by two guys in the air, and then she does a spread eagle. I don't know. I should Google that. Spread eagle. Oh. Well, okay, maybe not quite that. Cut that out. Anyways, I mean, of course we've seen that move before, right? It's quite a popular move, I would say. But like being held in the air and doing that, that's quite unique, I would say. But for the music show performances, and I knew this would happen. As soon as I saw that move, I was like, there's no way. Even though 10 years ago, they allowed Rania to perform Dr. Feelgood on music shows. I just had a feeling she would change it. So instead of spreading her legs, she just crosses her. She does the exact opposite, actually. If you think about it, just literally the exact opposite. So it's not spicy. Now at this point, I don't think she's performed on every single music show. Like there's some like performance videos where she does still do the move. I have a feeling it'll be most music shows anyways, but honestly, like the response to this move has been really great. Here's Twice's reaction to it. Our company can really do this. I mean, I have to admit, it was really shocking. It's like I know Twice is a 3rd gen group, but we're currently in 5th gen. I would say it's 5th gen shocking. But like if this were in 2nd gen, people like no one would bat an eye to this. People would be like, actually, that's just one move. Like there was like entire concepts dedicated to like vulgarity. I don't want to call it vulgarity, but you had so many girl groups getting banned left, right, and center for being quote unquote too vulgar in their music videos or within the choreography. What the hell are these comments respond? They're not just laughing at the video, but also at the fraudulency of BTS. What? It's Twitter, never mind. We also had Itzy's Chaeryeong post this to her story with like a drooling face emoji. So this is what she posted. Ani 최고, like Ani, you're the best. But again, I haven't seen like any significant backlash for this at all, really. My theory is it's because it's just that one move, right? It's not the entire concept that's like a sexy concept in K-pop. Like, you know, Rania's Dr. Feelgood, from head to toe, from outfits to choreography, was all quite sexy. But this, I would say, is just like quite a fun song, and there's like that little spicy element like shocked into it, right? Otherwise, I do think it would be quite much of a bigger issue, but I don't know. I would love to know what you think about this. I wanted to discuss it because I'm curious why you think there's no backlash towards this, whereas I'm sure under different circumstances there would be. To clarify, I don't want any backlash. I just know which direction these things can go in. Oh my god, this reminded me because once on the podcast we were talking about like sexy concepts in K-pop, how there's really not sexy concepts in K-pop anymore. Like they've really been phased out, and probably for good measure, to be honest, because you had a lot of idols come forward after saying like it made them super uncomfortable, like they were so ashamed to do it. And I've mentioned before how it's such a culture shock to go back and watch 2nd gen music videos because sometimes they're really, really spicy. And you think back to like 5th gen K-pop, which I would describe as a lot more modest. So it's definitely quite a shock. And I remember getting a comment from someone being like, culture shock, and it's not even your culture. Sweetie, that's literally the meaning of culture shock. Like culture shock and it's not even your that's what culture shock means. Not that I was talking about a specific culture, more like metaphorically a culture shock, but it just made me like die because of like, I mean, you got the idea. You literally, that's the idea. I thought that was so funny. I just had to bring it up again. Since I mentioned Dr. Feelgood, Rania is the old group that Black Swan used to be, kind of. It's complicated, but I'm surprised they allowed this on music shows. Everything down to the lyrics, like, is spicy. Fifth gen could never and should never. For age reasons, I am not shaming the concept. Okay, they definitely changed the choreography here because I remember in the music video there was a lot more grinding. This had to have gotten banned at some point. There's no way. Wait for it. This was second gen in a nutshell, though. I came across the TripleS dorm situation boycott thing, and let's look into it. I thought it was really interesting. Basically, it was revealed that having 24 members in dorms together all the time proves to be quite difficult. And so, during non-promotional periods, some members can go live with their families or on their own. Here's what was said about that. The fans would be a little surprised to hear, but it's actually harder than you think to have 24 girls live in a house and promote. Although it's so fun and enjoyable to get together and put our strength together to promote, there are some realistic problems that come with it. So during our non-promotional period, we are allowed to freely live where we want to. Of course, we all live together in dorms during promotional periods, but for non-promotional periods, we have discussed it with our company to agree on this. But we have more promotions than expected, so we have had to go back and forth a lot. Also, we expect that more of us will move out in the future, so we will continue to share this with the fans. So with this announcement, it does seem that, of course, there are fans that are super understanding. Like 24 people, of course, they're not in one singular dorm. Though it wouldn't surprise me if a company did try to do that. Like just have like everyone on the floor, like as many people as they could on the floor in one room. Like it wouldn't surprise me if a company did try to make that work, but I think they're separated into like 3-4 dorms, but that's still a lot of people. Here are some comments. No, but are the fans going to be able to live with 24 other people themselves through a whole year? This is so understandable. Don't the fans enjoy those house episodes the most? It's a shame that they will remove those. Wow, imagine living with 6 other people in a dorm. It must be so hard. Even with the 50 Pyeongwide dorm with 2 washrooms, it feels like a hassle. They should have just went with it without this official announcement. I can understand because they're 24. What's the issue here? Why aren't fans happy about it? How can you even fit 24 members in only 3-4 dorms? This is way better though. I feel like it's better to reveal it publicly like that rather than have weird rumors surfacing if they don't reveal it. Okay. However, this did seemingly get enough backlash to have a member actually apologize for this. This is what Kim Yoo-yeon wrote about it. I'm writing this after lots of consideration. I'm so sorry and sad to think that many fans were worried and bothered about what we said on Signal yesterday. Firstly, I think we did a big statement, but anyway, next month I have a lot of overseas schedules and I think I'll be moving back into the dorms within the next 2 months at most. Due to some family matters, I moved out of the dorms into my family home, which is near to the office in Seoul. I hope you guys will consider it as a vacation of sorts for me. I hope you guys don't think too much of it. When I move back into the dorms after 1 or 2 months, it'll be shown on Signal too. And even during non-promotional periods, I'm always with the members from lunch to dinner, going to the company daily and practicing, so you don't have to worry too much. So it seems there are some people who are like, it's totally understandable. Like I personally wouldn't want to live with so many people with like only 2 bathrooms. But then there are some people who think that this is like a betrayal to the group. So much so that there were plans to boycott the members who didn't live in the dorms during an in-person fan sign. Let's take a look at these boycott rules. Don't talk to them and don't look at their face. Just sit in front of the member but face the opposite direction. Sit with your back turned against her. My acquaintance is going tomorrow. I'll ask if there are really people acting like that. What about sitting your back against them towards your second bias? That's good too. Anyways, don't even look at those deserters. Make it so obvious that even the members around can feel it. Okay. And then we have this lovely picture. This man sitting to the side, and she looks so unbothered. I love that for her. She looks so unbothered, and this man is just sitting to the side. Now, can you imagine, like, let's say I want to send a message to a company and like it involves something like this. I would tell my friend, like, okay, take a picture of me. I'm gonna sit to the side, but as soon as you take the picture and post it, I'm gonna start talking to the idol. Can you imagine like that type of situation? I wish there was a video. I wish to God there was a video. Did this man really sit to the side, ignoring her the entire time, the entire 30 seconds? How long are these things lasting? Because that's wild. That's absolutely wild. Like, this is so funny to me. So I don't personally see how this is in any way being a deserter to your group. Like, if you had that option as well, like, okay, we could either stuff ourselves like sardines into a dorm, or we have the option to go home with our families sometimes. And if you're like mad about that situation, why wouldn't you be mad at the company and not the idols? I know that's such like the cheesy K-pop stan thing to say, like, be mad at the company, not the idols. But this is like literally a situation where it's like, isn't it on the company for not being able to afford more dorms? Like, if you read between the lines, it's like the company being like, well, we can't really afford more dorms, so you could go home if you want. And I'm not saying that's exactly what the company is doing, but if you're going to be mad at somebody, wouldn't it be the company for not buying more dorms? Do you understand where I'm going with this? Like, the poor girl. Who is this member, by the way? I love her face. She's just like, okay. Now, this did actually get a lot of backlash. Here are some comments. Perverted effer. Please act your age and wake up a bit. What can you do about it? TripleS usually lives in the dorm, but this time they said that the members who aren't promoting can live in their own house. But the fans don't want them to leave their dorms, so now they're boycotting the members who left the dorm. It just clicked to me, like, what does it matter to you where they live? Is it like a camaraderie thing? Is it like what is the issue? Or is it because these people are like sasaengs and like they want these people to be at the dorms? I don't know. I really don't know. Because if you know where they live, you can find out where they live where else they live. I'm not trying to encourage anything here. Genuinely curious if this would even hurt their feelings, or if they had to hold back bursting out laughing watching a grown man throw a tantrum in front of you. So my question to you is, if you were an idol and someone was boycotting you personally because you didn't live in the dorms with your other idol mates, and you're faced with a fan who is like sitting away from you and ignoring you at a fan sign, what do you do? What's your reaction? I would love to know. Let me know. So I think he was the only one to do this, because here at the bottom it says, allegedly the man in the image was blacklisted by Mod House and won't be able to attend any more TripleS's events. Like, imagine making a whole ass plan, like, okay guys, we're gonna boycott these members, and everyone's like, okay, and then like, you're the only one doing this. Let's move on to our discussion segment, which I found off of this. The idol industry is kind of weird. So this person made some interesting points, so I'm going to read it to you. Honestly, aside from some idols who write and compose their own songs, it feels like most of them just receive everything done by others. Singing and dancing should be the basics, but not many idols excel at both. It seems like a job where they receive songs, hair, makeup, concept styling, choreography, etc., and just present what has been prepared for them. I'm not saying they don't work hard, but the effort put in by others to create these idols is probably much greater. Yet, we only like the idols we see, which is kind of strange. I understand why people like the idols, of course, but the idol industry itself is quite weird. Sai, it's hard to express properly in writing. I literally get this. I think about this way too often, where I'm like, there are so many people who have so many amazing ideas, who are so talented, and yet we idolize just the people who perform the stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, maybe it's fair that not everybody wants to be in the spotlight. That's fair. Sometimes you take on those jobs specifically because you don't want to be in the spotlight. But there are people who want to be in the spotlight but can't be in the spotlight. Maybe they're too ugly. Maybe they're too like something or something. Well, I'm not saying they're ugly, but you get what I mean, right? Like, being too ugly or being too this or not fitting an image is enough for a company to not want you. Do you know what I mean? So then you end up in these background roles, and you're so talented and you have so many amazing ideas, and people don't idolize you. Like, we always forget these people. And it's the same in our everyday lives. We tend to like give more respect to the boss of something and like treat the workers like crap. And it's really such a like it's a system that I think about a lot. If we love a song, why don't we idolize the songwriter? If we love like a concept, why don't we idolize the person who like thought of that concept? Which again, like they said, is fair. Like that's literally the system, right? But I think about this all the time, and I wanted to know what you guys think of it too. I agreed when Shiny's Kier Taeyeon said something along the lines of, does a singer have to make their own songs? Interpreting and performing a song given to you is also a skill. After all, it's not just idols who receive songs from songwriters. Ballad and dance singers have always done that and continue to do so. If most of our country's singers were songwriters, I might see the point, but they aren't. If the criticism were about lacking skills or not being good as before, I'd accept it as a K-pop veteran. By this logic, does anything that isn't self-created lack value? Why dismiss the process and effort involved? That's okay. I have to interrupt here because it's not that like it has to be self-created, but like you could love the idols for performing and doing everything given to them, but like why do we just dismiss everyone else too? Like justice for everyone else too. Enjoying the singing and dancing performance on stage is what matters. Just because someone follows what was prepared doesn't mean the results will be the same. If you think about it, figure skating also involves a choreographer, a costume designer, and someone who picks the music. The skater just performs based on that, right? But what differentiates a great skater from an average one is how they interpret the choreography and execute their skills. The same goes for idols, the way they use their voice and dance, how to make, I don't know, I understand what OP meant. And I feel like they're not understanding what OP meant. You can hate on the system, but why harshly hate the profession itself? Do those critics have such independent and unique jobs themselves? Most people work the roles and responsibilities given by their company and use their skills to accomplish the job. It might seem like an industry that could disappear and possibly improve many people's mental health. But songwriting is a separate profession. Why ask idols to do it? Being an idol can involve, yes, but like, that's not the point, I don't think. Like, I don't think... Well, this is me talking. Obviously, it's me talking now, but like, it's not like that idols need to do everything themselves. It's just it's just like interesting, like an interesting observation that like we only idolize them. And I know that's literally the way it is. I know that's the system, but like, it's interesting to think about. Like we only idolize them. Just like to add on to it, you know, when like bodyguards go viral or backup dancers go viral, like isn't that fun too? Like isn't it like, and it's not, I'm gonna mention this later, it's not like people don't idolize those people, but they just don't idolize, the majority of people aren't idolizing those people. Like my point being, like it would be cool for more people to like diversify who they're idolizing and what roles they're idolizing. It would be like basically impossible to have an idol do everything. Have an idol come up with concepts, have an idol come up with the styling themselves, have an idol songwrite, do the choreography, do this, production, everything, set designs, everything. To have like an idol do absolutely everything, like no one would expect that, right? I just think the hierarchy is really interesting. But anyways, actors are similar and businesses have countless departments supporting the sales team. What are you even trying to say? Not this being like a hot take, but to be honest, even singer-songwriters don't write and compose all their songs. Celebrities are just products. Thinking like this makes you understand things way easier. Aren't actors the same? They're just acting script given to others. So I'm curious to see if I'm gonna get like absolutely trashed for this, but I want to know what you think as well. So let me know in the comments. One of the comments here, there were some idols who'd put out absolute garbage music, but because it's self-composed, fans use the hype it up so much. LMFAO, if it's good, it's good. Everyone has their own strengths. Why expect a cat to do a horse's job? Again, I'm not saying that idols need to do everything, but it is just like an interesting concept. Like if you loved a song, in theory, you could go look up the songwriter and be the songwriter's biggest fan ever. Or if you loved a set design, you could go like, and I'm sure there are people who do that as well. It's just obviously not the norm. Let's move on to Kpop Shenanigans, which are basically fun little things that have happened in K-pop recently and or quick news. I came across this Instagram reel. So Avant qu'elle parte by Section d'Assaut is similar to Straight Line by Kepler. This is so funny to me because I remember when this song was compared to Enhypen's Bite Me. And the comments, remember, there's two... It's you and me in this world. I just thought that was so funny. Then we have Baby Monster announcing their comeback. Here we have it, RSVP. Don't get used to it. I know you're thinking, oh my god, they literally just debuted and they had to come back and now they're having another. Blackpink did too, and then we only saw Blackpink every couple of years, so don't get used to it. 50/50 are going to come back as 5 members now. So of course we have original member Kina. There's a whole lawsuit, tried to leave, she came back, but now they're coming back with 5 members when they were originally a 4-member girl group. So let me know what you think about that. I wrote Latasha here. I don't know what I meant for this TikTok, but let's react to it together. Oh, Cat's Eye. We have been waiting for Cat's Eye for so long. Like, people were wondering because, Vicha had their thing around the same time they debuted. But for Cat's Eye, we haven't heard from them in so long, but they're finally going to make their debut June 28th. And then, oh my God, yesterday was Father's Day. And I thought this was so funny. Okay, just please wish your fathers happy Father's Day. Audio, oh my god, I've never met my dad, so let me know if you're fatherless too in the comments. Oh, okay, so for my K-pop dream, I just have a link to this TikTok, so let's see. Is it Lisa? I think it's Lisa. Wait. Let me tell you, so this dream didn't technically predict anything, but I think I have a really good intuition. Because I just had a dream about J-Hope in his military uniform, and then I woke up the next day to the news, which is not really news because I guess people have known since he enlisted that he would be the next to come back after Jin, and I didn't know that. So then I was like, oh my god, my dream, it's like I predicted the present. So I thought that was funny because then I also, after I woke up from that dream, saw this TikTok where he's in his military uniform and I had dreamt about him in his military uniform. So I thought that was interesting. But I originally was like, oh, is this the Lisa TikTok? Because I don't know if you guys remember, and I'm gonna wait for the song to come out before I make any claims, but you guys remember I dreamt of Lisa's solo and she was wearing a black and pink version of her gold Coachella outfit and she was singing I'm so good looking. I'm so good. I don't remember. I'll have to find the dream again. But then in her teaser snippet, she says, I'm a rock star. And then in my dream, I dreamt that she said that her song was saying, I'm so good looking. So we have the I'm in common. I'm just waiting for more details to be confirmed. But we'll see if I predicted her solo correctly. But if she comes out with her solo first, then my dream did, in fact, predict that. I'm just saying. But onto a real dream, because I didn't tell you a real dream. I just dreamt of J-Hope in his military uniform. I was hanging out with Yoonjin of Le Sserafim, but then we went into Shawn Mendes' backyard and he has 2 pools and I said that's too much. Can I have one? And he said yes. It wasn't even a fancy LA house or anything. We were in some random house in Canada and he had 2 above ground pools. Not even fancy in ground pools, 2 above ground pools. And I was jealous and I was like, can I have one? Because I want a pool. Oh, but the next night, I also dreamed of Yoonjin of Le Sserafim, so it connected to my next night dream. We were catching a flight out of the mall and I forgot to wear pants. I told her to wait and to stall. So she started singing as I ran back to try to find some pants. I'm running through the mall in slow motion, trying to find my apartment in the mall to get pants. And she was stalling the airline in the mall for me to find pants. So she's really a girl's girl. I don't know what that could predict necessarily, but I'm sure once it happens, we'll come back to this and revel in my psychic powers. So, okay, I don't think I have a K-pop song today. I'll just go quickly and check. I've been so uninspired musically. I do have a K-pop pool party playlist if you're interested. I'm going swimming today. It's gonna literally be 30 degrees. I'm gonna go swimming. So I'll link that if you guys want to check it out. I've updated it. There's so many more songs. I'm excited to just vibe in my 4-foot tall pool that's not mine. That's next door. That's still kind of cloudy, but it's okay. We're not being picky here. But anyways, that is basically it for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. These are the lovely individuals who help support my channel on a monthly basis. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. As for me, I'm gonna get going, so I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Oh, actually, for my channel members, I'm about to react to New Jeans House Sweet. How Sweet is it? New Jeans' new song.